What's up, Weekend Warriors? Welcome to the Week 1 edition of the show. It is 2025. Yes, and it is not a typo. It is the 20th season for the Weekend Warriors. I'm 35, so that means this league started when I was 15, turning 16. So I'll be 36 very soon. 20 years is a pretty remarkable accomplishment. There's a few original league members here: Chris, uh, Terry Otley, my dad, I think are the only remaining. We won't mention which one of those have a championship and which ones do not. But here we are and excited to kick off another season. So, most of you, this is probably the least amount of people we've had in person at a draft since we started doing it in person. Probably because a lot of our lives are pretty busy right now, so I can appreciate that. But I did announce two rule changes at the draft. One is each team will get three punters. Just kidding, just kidding. That one's for Chris. No, one of the rule changes is fractional points. So that's something that we voted on. We voted on a few things. Fractional points were the only one that kind of made it through with unanimous decisions. So that'll be added to the scoring. Yes, Brett, if your guy rushes for 33 yards, you will get 3.3 points as opposed to just three. He's been dying for that change, which means he will definitely lose by point one at some point this season, probably week one, but that's coming. So kickers are staying, and obviously we were staying with half PPR. The other rule change, it's not complicated. It's pretty easy, but it's another Brett. Brett, your two shout outs already for you. It's a big, big day for you. Brett last year had Evan Ingram on his team. Waivers, as you know, run at 12 p.m. noon, about an hour before kickoff at 1 o'clock. Evan Ingram got himself hurt on the sideline about 12:15, 12:20, and our waivers were locked. There's no way Brett could pick anybody up. Years ago, we had a COVID rule that if somebody was announced with COVID, we were able to pivot. We got rid of that as COVID died. And so Brett was unfortunately SOL. He had no one else to put in his place. If that happens again in this year and going forward, if you have someone in your lineup that gets hurt pre-game before the 1 o'clock games, between noon and 1 o'clock, and you do not have an option. If you have somebody to throw in, you have somebody to throw in. But if you have nobody to throw in, we'll allow you to pick somebody up for no dollars, $0 claim, but that person gets thrown back out to the wire thereafter. So you don't lose anybody. You won't have to cut anybody. You'll be able to move that person to IR. The only caveat would be if your IR is full, whatever, you'll cut that person, you'll pick up the replacement, and then you can swap them back for free going into the next week. The reason you got to cut the guy is because, like, what if, Christian McCaffrey, oh, God, I'm going to put this in the universe. Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. You can't just get Jordan Mason well, he's on the Vikings now. Bad example. But you can't just get whoever the flavor of the week running back that would go for $60 off the wire. You just get him for free because he happens to get hurt. So if it happens at 3:30, the guy gets hurt in warmups for the 4 o'clock game, that is what it is. That's chance. That happens. It is what it is. Same thing for Monday night. Insure yourself. Hopefully, to have another option. A lot can happen between Sunday at 1 and Monday night. If you have a guy who, is supposed to play, go ahead, wing it. If you have a guy who's questionable, probable, whatever, make your own accommodations accordingly. So, but we are going to have a contingency plan between noon and 1 o'clock. Moving on. So, that was the rule changes. I wanted to also go through last year my Turnersville Sportsbook predictions. I was 45-33 with a 58% correct rate on my predictions for our fantasy league. So if I picked you to win on this podcast, you had a 58% chance of winning. That's pretty good. My NFL picks, even though I was the Thursday night king, and I'm kicking myself, I don't have my Thursday record. I think it was 11-5-1, 11-6-1. I was good on Thursday night. You guys remember? Thank you. We can check the tapes. for those that have time. But that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because I was hot on Thursday night. It's bad because I was 17, 16, and 1. Positive, very, very positive, barely. But that just means maybe some of my other picks weren't as good as my Thursday night pick. So, new year, fresh start. Ready to be done with baseball as far as betting wise. Still in some fantasy baseball matchups. Shout out to Kevin. But the baseball betting season has kind of come to an end for me. So we'll come out of the gate hot with some picks here. We're not going to recap the draft, but we'll do that a little bit here as we talk about the teams and we will get into the matchups. So let me see. The first one I have written down here is Ott versus Booty. So Booty wasn't at the draft. He took a couple guys. He took Lamar early. He took Tyreek Hill a little bit early, but it's probably where he belongs. But Booty had the strategy, I think, of taking some guys that were suspended or injured and wait on them and, try to tread water and win some games in the beginning. I like that strategy, truthfully. However, I think you might have gone a little too far. You got two guys that are suspended, and between Addison, Rice, and Godwin is the guy who's on IR who's injured. So week one, you got Rashid Shaheed in your lineup. I mean, this is a 10-man league. I know we started a lot of guys. Maybe he'll have a nice game, but between him and Debo, as your wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3, you're going to need Lamar and CMC to kind of carry this team, and Tyreek to be Tyreek. Let's be clear. He could be the best pick or the worst pick in the draft. So I think Booty went high risk. If that was your move, I can respect that because if you're not first, you're last, like Ricky Bobby would say. You got to win your league. You don't want to come in fifth. So I respect that. But can Booty tread water until some of these bullets get back? We'll see. Otley, another member who was not at the draft, pretty good draft. I will say maybe his weak spot is probably his RB2. He does have Montgomery and Ford. Should start out of the gate pretty hot until that kind of murky Brown situation gets itself figured out. But Booty, I hate to tell you, Thursday night, it's got Hurts, Lamb, and Eagles D. Got some firepower there Thursday night. You're probably going to be down going into the week, and then he's got Worthy on Friday night. Booty, he has Jake Elliott and Pacheco. So going into Sunday, you're going to be down. This is not a good matchup for Booty. I do think McCaffrey's going to have to come out and be very good the first week. Spoiler alert, I'm going to give you my Thursday night pick right now. I him and hauled about this. 8.5 is too many points, but the Eagles could win by 40. Yes, I watched the Super Bowl. I saw what happened, and there's no way in hell I'm betting the Dallas Cowboys in this game. So I'm going over 47.5. This is like a typical, maybe take the under first game. The implied total for the Eagles is 28.5. They'll probably score 4 touchdowns. And I think the Cowboys will play catch up towards the end of the game and do enough to kind of cover that line. So over 47.5, which should be good for Otley, which potentially could be bad for Booty. I'm taking Otley here in week 1 over Booty. Moving on, the next matchup I have written down is Chris and Kevin. So Kevin, talk about his draft quickly. Gibbs and Achane, he got a deal on Achane. Now he's healthy playing week 1. At the time, he was a little nicked up. A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Tet McMillan, and then Breece Hall at flex. That is a super strong starting lineup with Waddle and Adunze on the bench. I really like this team that Kevin drafted. Chris on the other side, Genty in the first round. Some people gave him flack. I think Genty's going to be fine. I really like him. He's going to be a volume back. That team might not be very good, but that might not matter. I think he can still do enough. Shake and Bake is Chris's name. He's got Baker Mayfield. He also has Bucky Irving. Go Bucks. Nico Collins, I absolutely love. And to be able to pair him with T. Higgins and Cortland Sutton, this is another team I really like. The bench is not super strong, I will say. Jacoby Myers requested a trade. That's murky. Kupp is, 45 years old. Jaden Reed's got a bad foot, so some bench weaknesses there for Chris. But then Pollard's going to get off to a nice start, I think, with Spears on IR. I like both these teams, and I did say I like, A.J. Brown in this Thursday night matchup. Shocker alert. My other pick this week, I'm coming out of the gate with it right now, is guys know I like to bet ugly, and I'm coming out of the gate hot with an ugly bet. Saints plus 6.5 at home. They're going to be a live dog. Who's the quarterback? They don't know. Tyler Shuck's horrible. Spencer Rattler is totally worse than that. But I have seen Arizona be Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde too many times. I've had Kyler Murray on my fantasy team. If he comes out the first drive and looks flat, he will not figure it out. I think Arizona's going to be fine this season, but he's going to have a tough week one. They might rely on the run a little too much. Maybe they'll squeak out a win. Careful if you're taking Arizona in suicide pool. It's a risky pick. I think they could squeak out a win on the money line, but I think they're going to probably win by a field goal. I'm taking the Saints plus 6.5. And that means I think Kyler might have a little bit more of a down week. And I think Tampa Bay, Atlanta could be a shootout. I'm going Chris over Kevin here in week one. My next matchup is Terry versus Valone, the agitator versus Terry. This is going to be a good one. Valone, draft wise, pretty solid. Another member that didn't make it to the draft. Jefferson as his first pick. Johnny Taylor is going to be super solid. Valone has a really good team. Two guys that worry me a little bit. Garrett Wilson, somebody I love, have his jersey, have him on my dynasty team. I've just come to the realization that maybe just because he's the only guy there might not be good. He led the league in targets or something 2 years ago with bad quarterback play, and he was like the wide receiver 30 when Rodgers got hurt. I get nervous about Wilson, and I'm nervous about Caleb. I like Caleb. I have him in another league, but man, Valone's other quarterback is the guy I just mentioned, Justin Fields. He is kind of flying a little bit naked here with Caleb. He's all in. Monday Night Football against the Vikings. Tough defense. Yes, it's at home, but if I were him, I'd want an insurance policy. He doesn't have it, and that worries me. Terry has got a 49% chance to win this match if he doesn't have a defense in yet. Jaden against the Giants, another live dog. I do like the Giants a little bit, but that Jaden's Jaden. He's got his guy back, Terry. He's got Debo added to the squad. James Cook, a guy that people were down on, man. He's just going to score touchdowns. It's kind of what he does in a shootout there against Baltimore. And I mentioned the Cardinals maybe starting out slow, but look, that's a hot take. James Conner should be solid in that matchup. Probably will rush for a touchdown. And, Puka and Neighbors, very, very good start there. Pearsall should be good, out of the gate with some other injuries to the wide receiver for Seattle. San Francisco against Seattle. You can kind of see where I'm going. My nervousness with Caleb. This is going to come down to Monday night between Caleb and Justin Jefferson for Valone. I do like McConkey. Hopefully, Devonta Smith can get some touchdowns and some points on Thursday night for Chris. I'm taking Terry here to beat Valone in week one. True agitator style. He's got to start slow so he can build himself up. We're going with Terry. Terry's always solid. All right, the matchup of the week, we have the Driving Crooners and Brett versus You Like That. Jake, if anybody hasn't seen Jake's picture, go check it out. We announced it at the draft. He was the loser. We sent out a nice video. Thank you, Jake, for doing that. Talking about the draft, I really, really, really like Jake's team, but I got to be honest, and I'm on the majority, I think, on this. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is good in fantasy anymore. I had him 2 years ago. It was the first year he was bad. Tyreek was gone. The year before, he was fine. Kelsey now is older. Rashee Rice is out for 6 weeks. I watched the Chiefs play. They win by 3 on a doink field goal. They play good defense. So I think Mahomes Friday night out of the gate against the Chargers could be slow. But I will say, Jake, Saquon's a beast. He's going to have another huge season. The only thing that can stop him is injury. He's going to have a great season. He's going to have a great Thursday night. BTJ, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers. He's got Kamara in the flex. That team's going to stink, but he's going to catch a bunch of passes. I do really like Jake's team. Brett on the – oh, I better get some water here for a minute. A little raspy talking about Brett again. Brett on the other side, Derrick Henry, that's his guy. He fell to him kind of in both leagues I've been with him. To pair Henry and Amon-Ra St. Brown, can you have a more safe first 2 picks? Very, very good. I'm not a Jackson Smith-Njigba guy because I don't trust Sam Darnold, but I am a Emeka Egbuka guy, and I like Kittle this year. And Brett got really good value on Kittle in this draft. So, and Burrow. He's going to be on a mission this year. I know he was last year. They got to come out of the gate hot. I saw him in the preseason. Him and my boy Chase were hooking up at the Browns week one. I don't see the upset there. I think since he's going to take care of business, and I think in that game, Judy on the other side could do well for Brett. I like Brett's matchups here in week one. I like his team. I'm taking him to beat Jake here in the matchup of the week to start out hot, the driving crooners. And that brings me to me and my dad. It seems like I either play Chris or my dad almost week one every year. Playing Dean this year. Dean, super solid draft. He wanted to get a quarterback. He said he wasn't screwing around with that. And he got Josh Allen. He has a quarterback. So Josh Allen, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London. He likes the Falcons, but those are three really, really solid picks. From there, he does have some question marks. Travis Hunter, how much will he play? How much will he be involved in the offense? I think he's very talented, and talent usually wins out. He's got Aaron Jones, maybe sharing a little bit with Mason. He's got Harvey, maybe sharing a little bit with Dobbins. He's got Adams. Will he be supported by Stafford? God forbid Jimmy Garoppolo come in. I like my dad's team. It would be helpful for him if ETN could find some form. He made a couple good pickups in Trey Benson and Ali Gordon on his bench. He's got some lottery tickets, and I think he has a solid foundation. For me, my draft went pretty much exactly how I wanted it to. I didn't want a top pick unless it was number one, and I have number one. I don't think I've ever had number one in this league. So that was awesome to get Chase. I reached for Omarion Hampton. You got to go get your guy at the turn. I was no chance I was going to get him coming back. I took him as the first pick in the third round. I wasn't going to get him last pick in the fourth round. So I reached for him over some guys that were very good, but I have a good feeling about him. Najee's back. He stinks. He doesn't scare me. So Chase Brown and Jamar Chase, go Bengals. I love my guy Bo Nix. He's my dynasty quarterback. I think he's Josh Allen light. He runs. Denver's going to be good. I think they're a dark horse to win the AFC. And I love Tyler Warren, and I love TreVeyon Henderson. I have all the guys I like, which kind of scares me. I've been on a hot streak. I'm riding a lot of rookies this year. In my lineup week one, I have three rookies. I have Tyler Warren, TreVeyon Henderson, and Omarion Hampton. I'm rolling them all out. I have some boom bust guys with Jameson Williams. Metcalf, I'm on the fence about. Either he's going to be really good because he's the only guy there, or Rodgers is going to have a walker out there and he's going to struggle. So we'll see about him. He's my wild card. In week one, I like my Bengals to start out hot. Jamar Chase, having him on my team just feels it's like a warm, fuzzy blanket. I really, really like that. I like Knicks at home against Tennessee. I'm picking myself to win. Parlay, Hampton, TreVeyon Henderson, touchdown. As Brett said, it's probably going to work out for me. Hopefully I can keep my hot streak rolling. I'm taking myself to beat Dean here in week one. Guys, you got the over on Thursday night. You got the Saints plus 6.5. I even sprinkled in a couple other potential winners for you. I really wish you good luck going into the season. I can't believe it's the night before Christmas here with football tomorrow and Friday and Sunday and Monday. Set your lineups. Be active on the wire. It's going to be a fun season. The commish out.